Greetings, inquisitive viewers. This is Trebor 7, I'm the creator of HowToTelekinesis.com and a student of AvatarEnergyMaster.com. And today I will be addressing some frequently asked questions. Alright, welcome to part 2 of the Telekinesis Q&A with Trebor 7. I've got several questions here, and I'm going to try to hit the ones that I'm asked most frequently and see how many we can squeeze in here. But hopefully I'll hit some topics that interest you. And okay, let's jump right into it. What form of PK is the easiest to learn? It varies for everybody. I mean, the lightest elements to work with are air and fire, but they're not the easiest to learn. I started on paper. You tell me. I don't know. How do I open my third eye? I don't know. That's just kind of a saying, really. It's either receiving and giving energy or it's not. And when it is, it's open, and when it's not, it's closed. I don't know how to. I don't want to get into that, really. How did you unlock your powers? I've kind of addressed that. It's basically just start working with your chakras and meditation and kind of wean yourself off of materialism and stuff, and other doors start opening. You know, if your glass is full of all this stuff, there's no room for anything else. So empty your cup, and you'll find your powers. Why don't you take the Randy challenge and collect your millions? Oh, this should have been at the top. I bet I've had this, I don't know, a dozen times at least. First of all, I'm not a big fan of money. I have very simple taste and very few wants. I did the rat race for 15, 20 years and accumulated enough money to buy a house and a little chunk of land, and I don't have a desire for $1 million. I know that sounds stupid, but I really don't. And secondly, Randy's just a washed up old magician trying to act like he knows everything because that's what he's being paid to do. And they're just trying, I mean, that's just a whole big scam to keep humanity in their little cage and give those people who are clinging to their paradigms somebody to, a cheerleader. So, and also, some sources I trust say once you actually pass the preliminary test, you either get the cold shoulder or a series of unfortunate events. So, and there's no way he's ever going to be disproven in public. I mean, if you're waiting for that, forget it. He'll never pay out $1 million. And there's also, people talking about psychic blockers. Well, that is true. We're working on a collective consciousness, and there are laws of nature. But guess what? We're the lawmakers. So if you got 100 people staring you down, or one powerful person staring you down, saying to you that telekinesis does not work, and just one of you trying to do it, yeah, they've got the majority rules on the collective consciousness. And you have to have a very strong connection and be a very good practitioner to be able to do it under those type of circumstances. So I don't want the Randy challenge, I don't want his $1 million, and I don't want to ever hear this question again. Thank you. Can anyone do TK? Yes, I believe so. No. Anyone who does not believe they can do TK probably can't do it. Everyone else can. Does TK ever happen accidentally? No. I mean, on rare occasion when I drop something, sometimes I'll reach for it with some urgency and it'll pull towards my hand, and some of that might just be magnetics, but no, it never just happens. I never pass myself the salt by accident or anything. What is empathy? Oh, I should have put this at the top. Get a dictionary. What is the easiest target for beginners? Gosh, I kind of addressed that. For me, I started with paper, but I think foil's the easiest. How can I tell if I'm doing aerokinesis, telekinesis, or just using magnetism? Yikes. Oh, gosh. Yeah, that is tricky, because if you get good and strong at aerokinesis, or you have a really strong magnetism, you can pull off a lot of this stuff without using, I shouldn't say without using telekinesis, but using a different form of telekinesis. And you can either do it, I guess the only way to really tell is to put something under glass so the air can't get to it, and get away from it far enough to where your magnetics can't affect it. And then if you can move something under glass that way, no hands, you're obviously using telekinesis. But moving anything from a distance is telekinesis. But technically, I think some people confuse the use of magnetism and aerokinesis with telekinesis. To me, telekinesis is an inside job. There's no movement required. Everything that happens on the outside happens on the inside first, and all you do is manipulate the projection rather than the reflection. So that it makes no sense to have to move to do that. How do you make a chi ball? I'm not a pro at that. But basically, what you're doing with those hand motions, it's all you're all doing it energetically and mentally. And the only thing those hand motions, those things are doing when they're shaping a ball or whatever, that's just for your brain to give you an area to place a place to focus your energy. That's all it is. And I don't want to get into that, making chi balls and throwing chi balls and all that stuff here. Why don't you use PK to make a living tossing dice at casinos? Now that kind of goes back to the money thing. I don't have a lot of desire to have a lot of money, and also based on my experience, just when you do this stuff with ill intentions to cause harm to someone, to make someone feel inferior or cheat someone, it doesn't really work too well. And maybe that's my own personal regulator, but that's how I feel about it. I don't want to, and I'm not going to. Were you born with special powers, or did you start from scratch? As a kid, I did experience some premonitions, and on occasion I would pick up on people's thoughts, and I can always kind of sense people's emotions. But no, typically, if I did have powers, I didn't know how to yield them, and I just had a normal, average, everyday, typical middle-class American life. What colors do you see when you're doing TK? I don't really see colors. I used to use a little bit of that when I was learning, but I don't really visualize colors or anything. How come I can move foil but not paper? You can move paper. Foil's a little bit easier. It's probably just because you're used to it, but foil's a little bit easier because it appeals to the magnetism. But magnetism also works on paper and everything, so it's just a matter of you blocking down or knocking down your mental blocks and practicing. Can you teach me aerokinesis? I would like to think so, but to tell you the truth, it's kind of a tricky one to teach. Like I said, you have to understand telekinesis to a certain extent so you can get some control over and see what you're doing with your energy and get the feel for it. Because when you get out in the air, there's a lot of natural motion going on, and it's hard to tell exactly what you're doing if you can't feel it. Anybody can wave their arms around and take granted for every leaf that blows, but that's not you unless you feel it. It's not necessarily you doing it. Why is there no sound on your videos? The microphone's screwed up. It cuts in and out on it. But hey, good news, I got a new camera coming, and my videos now will have sound. I might still do commentary over the top of them and stuff, but we'll have it available as needed. What is the point of learning TK? It's kind of a stepping stone. Leads to other things like telepathy, healing. Plus, like I said, it's very therapeutic, and it helps you get to know yourself and understand that the nature of physical reality in general. Okay, I've had several people from scientific backgrounds saying that they know for a fact TK doesn't exist, and why am I doing this? Well, I'm not doing this for you, okay? It'll crush your paradigm. Just stay in your paradigm and don't watch these videos if you don't want to know about it. But I'm not going to argue with a scientist. Do you have any special tips that might be helpful for someone just starting out? Yeah, the tutorials on the website is the bulk of it, and there are a few more things you can do, and I mentioned some of them, starting with the low lighting and cut back on the electricity and stuff in your room. But I'll do another lesson, a part 4 here in a little bit, and I'll give some more on that. How old are you? I'm 46 as of today. Where is the best place to practice TK? Someplace quiet, maybe even someplace you consider sacred, perhaps where you do your meditations. Away from people, away from sound, and away from outer influences. Do you have Twitter or Facebook page? Nope. Who are your mentors? I don't want to really list people, because as soon as you say someone's name and endorse them, the assumption that you believe and agree with everything that person says is attached to it. So I don't want to throw out any names. I feel safe putting out the name Michael Monk just because he doesn't talk a bunch of stuff that he hasn't experienced. But as far as listing mentors, I don't want to play that game. What is a chakra? That's basically a bundle of nerves, and there's several of them placed throughout your body, and it's basically the network of your energy system, simply put. How do I stop the chattering in my head when I meditate? That is the million-dollar question, my friend. Some people use a mantra or focus on a certain image within their head, but ultimately the best way to do it is just wait it out. They just be the silent spectator, let the questions and thoughts come and go at will, and eventually they'll run out. And when you reach that emptiness and can learn to cling to it, that's where you want to be, my friend. Seek the silence. Why does my TK only work when I have a fan on? There's several reasons that could be, but the oscillation and the circulation of air, one, keeps the energy kind of stimulated, and two, you may be using aerokinesis to do telekinesis. So, and it's a lot easier to direct wind than it is to generate it from yourself. So a little bit of air movement will help you if you're kind of leaning towards the aerokinesis approach, and it also keeps the energy stimulated. What do you think about when you do TK, and why do you look so sad? I don't think about much of anything, really. The less thoughts, the better. And I guess I look sad because that's the expression my face takes when I'm totally relaxed. Do I have to change my diet, take supplements, and join avatar.com to learn TK? No, you don't. You don't have to take any pills. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to join anything. It's all you, baby. Those are just suggestions of ways that'll help you speed up your learning time. Why does TK work better when I'm standing up? We project from our chakras, and if you're a solar plexus kind of guy, having your target, at your navel level, it's going to make you stronger. If you're a heart chakra guy, chest level is going to be the strongest for you. If you're a third eye guy, eye level is going to be the best for you. And what you do, whoever this was, what you want to do is figure out which one's working the best, and then start working with the other ones, and get all 7 of them firing, and boy, you'll be tearing it up. Why can't I move the psi wheel under glass? Well, that's back to the aerokinesis and magnetism thing. If you're using aerokinesis or magnetism, it's not going to work very good under the glass, and you can do it, but it's an inside job. When you get down to the deepest levels of telekinesis, that psi wheel is not under the glass, it's inside you. What does Namaste mean? Basically just means I bow to or recognize the divinity within you, or the God within. I need more help. Can we chat on Skype or by phone? I don't really have that kind of time, guys. I'm sorry. If you've put in the time, you've been at this at least 6 weeks or so, you've watched all the tutorials and cleaned up your diet a little bit and followed at least part of my guidance and still have no luck, narrow it down to a specific question, and I'll try my best to answer it, but I'm not going to talk to people all day on Skype. Can you read minds? No, not purposefully, and yes, when I look somebody's in the eye, a lot of times I can pick up their thoughts and emotions, but I'm not a mind reader, and I'm not in a position to give a tutorial if that's what you're getting at. Can you do a tutorial on levitation? Nope. Again, I haven't really mastered that. I want to, and when I do, I'll share something with you, but I'm not in a position to even share anything at this point. Why can't I do no hands TK? That's basically that same thing. You can do it. Just keep increasing your distance, and pretty soon you'll get to a point where you will realize that you're not using your hands at all, and you don't need to move them. So you can do it is the answer to that question. Do you meditate or sun gaze, and if so, how often? Yeah, I do meditate pretty much daily, and for as long as time allows, and I sun gaze sporadically, quite a bit here often, yes. Can you do TK over the internet, like through Skype or something? I've never tried that, but I believe it's possible. Is there any scientific proof that TK is real? Yeah, there is. There's quite a bit. The Russians have a lot of it. Every country does. Princeton University has 20-some years worth of data you can check out. When do you think the big change for humanity will happen? I think it's happening right now. I don't think there's going to be a specific date where everything just clicks and turns hunky-dory or anything. It's happening now on an individual basis. We create reality, so we change reality from within. Work on yourself and be kind and courteous to others and help enlighten people. The more people that wake up to who and what they are and learn how to master their energy and focus their intentions, the quicker this will happen. I do think it'll snowball towards the end, and I'd say with 10 years from now, we're going to look back at this way of life and think, what in the world were we doing? But yeah, I mean, it's all going to, we realize that we're walking in free energy, that energy that Tesla and others have tapped into, and then we're silly for paying for electricity and burning fossil fuels and killing people for resources when this world is perfect. We live in the world of abundance. If we manage resources and ourselves correctly, everyone can be happy. So yeah, the age of bowing down and eating flesh and drinking blood and killing people is over. It's time that we started being who we are, and that is creators of our reality. All right, these are all my opinion, guys. I hope this is helpful, and I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you. Good day. God bless. and namaste.